Lights on.
I got mine.
Testing, there we
There
go.
you are.
All right, good job, thank you. All right, welcome to the Village of Waukesha Special Board Meeting, Village Board Meeting on Monday, August 3rd, beginning at 6 p.m. We're starting the meeting. We're called to order. Would you stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call. We'll go around the room. Trustee Kalinsky.
Here.
Trustee German.
Here.
Trustee Durr.
Here.
Trustee Stigler.
Here.
And I, President Fisher, am here. Item 4 is open meeting law compliance check. The agenda was posted on the 3 village public notice boards, the village website, and distributed to all news media requesting notification in accordance with the open meeting laws on July 28th, 2020. Typically, we would ask that question of Clerk Treasurer Nicholas. She's not here tonight. I think that is not an accurate statement. I do not believe this was at least distributed to the news media until last Friday, which would have been July 31st. Does anybody have any information to the contrary? Then I think we will let the statement reflect that that was done on July 28 or July 31st of 2020. Minutes of the meeting of July 23rd, 2020. Does anybody have a copy of that? Are you looking at copies of that or not?
I do not.
I do not either, and we don't have a packet for tonight. I know I did have one question when I looked at that, and running on memory, Mike, and I would ask you for the action that was taken for refunding that ditch deposit for Sarah Karstens. I think the minutes reflect that we voted unanimously. Did you vote in favor of that or not?
I'd have to go check my notes, and I don't have them with me.
Or check the YouTube. My recollection is that you voted no. But I guess my suggestion would be, in as much as we don't have those in hand, that we ought to table approval of those minutes for the meeting of July 23rd, and I will so move.
I'll second it.
Okay, moved and second to table the approval of the minutes of the meeting of July 23rd, 2020. Would you accept a friendly amendment that we will table that until our meeting on, I believe it's April 13th. Is that acceptable? August 13th. Is that acceptable?
Yes.
Okay, everybody understands the motion. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. I would make a suggestion, unless there's strong exception from the board here. We've got a small crowd here, and I know Miranda is already in our presence early for your 6:15. Thank you, but I would like to take items 8, 9, and 10 out of order. Our Department of Public Works head Jerry Noli is here. I think we can dispatch with those quickly. Does anybody have strong objection to that? If not, we'll go to item 8, which is discussion and possible action on the award of the contract for asphaltic seal coating of roads with black boiler slag for 2020. I think before we proceed, I would think we could take all three of these together. These were tabled at the meeting a week ago, Thursday, for action tonight. I think we need a motion to remove these from the table for further discussion. I think we voted unanimously for that, so anybody could make that motion.
I'll move to remove them from the table.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, moved by Trustee Stigler, second by Trustee Glinski to remove these from the table for further discussion. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That passes unanimously, and I think we can even talk about these simultaneously if there's a desire to do that. Did everyone get and this was tabled, so Attorney Macy would have an opportunity to look at it. Did everybody get a chance to review his communication?
I don't believe I saw a communication on that. Did he send it to you?
I thought he sent that to, or I thought Kathy sent that out to everybody, no?
I do not have a communication on that, no.
Well, I can tell you, I can tell you what it was if she didn't pass that along to everybody, and his communication, short and sweet, was that he found everything in order in terms of the bid solicitation. He didn't find everything in order in terms of the bid responses. He suggested that in the future that we have separate technical specifications if there's 3 different parts of maintenance rather than in one technical specification. He issued that or offered that as a forward-looking thing. For the asphaltic seal coating of roads with black boiler slag, he found it appropriate, should we choose to do so, to consider not only the bid from Scott Construction for $91,945, also the response from Farner for $103,368, and everybody's got a copy of those, right? With what that was, and the 125,910, I think was for 1/4 inch and 3/8 inch granite respectfully, so he found those bids appropriate. And I should mention Jerry Nolly's here. Did Kathy, did you ask her today, did she get you a copy of these bids? Did you have a chance to look at them? Okay, so you had a chance to take a look at them. Certainly you can weigh in on any of this if you want. Let me just go to the other part of it real quickly and we come back to it. But the crack filling, Thunder Road, he found the $49,325 was appropriately bid because it included all of the roads. Farner only bid on some of the roads and excluded them. He found that non-compliant with the bid solicitation. As I think I'd indicated the meeting a week ago Thursday, that's an irregular bid. That is his recommendation. I think we need to come to that finding. And on the flex patch, there's but one bid from Thunder Road for the $3,975. So that's the essence of all of that. Discussion or motions to act on any of those. Or Jerry, do you have anything that you want to address? You're welcome. One other thing, we have in our operating budget $175,000 for contracted road or street maintenance. I don't have the sheet right in front of me, but there's been $1,400 or something like that spent out of it. So there's between $173,000 and $174,000 available. If you were to go with the crack fill bid for Thunder Road of $49,325, the slag bid from Scott of $91,945, the sum of those two is a little shy of $142,000. The flex patch at $39,755, we would be between $145,000 and $146,000, so we would be probably some $28,000 below that line item for the year. Are we anticipating any other expenses against that line item, Jerry, that you know of? I don't think so. So that's the financial part of it.
Did Farner give a reason why they excluded some of the roads?
Do you want it? You want to come up to the microphone?
I had a short time to go through this. I just had to go through it today, but I guess I don't quite understand what they feel is too far gone. I didn't have a chance to talk to them. That's between them and whatever.
So you haven't seen these bids before today?
This is yeah, I saw them. This first time I saw them was just now.
I called him and told him to come and see Kathy and get a copy of them. She didn't give them to him, so.
That was today?
Yes, sir.
Great.
I can't add anything further other than everybody's got a copy of their Exhibit C bid form where they crossed off, I'm gonna say more than half of the roads. I believe they kept 1, 2,
Yeah, and I
3,
guess I
4,
kind of
5.
disagree with some of their stuff that they crossed
6,
off. I
7.
don't feel that they were too far gone, you know.
But basically Attorney Macy said we cannot consider that. If you go back and look at the procedure on that, it requires that, I'll find the exact language on that for you, but requires that, and in fact, it's on their very sheet, all bids must be submitted on the standard form without modifications. Base bid must be for all the work bid in strict accordance with the contract documents and so forth. So it is an irregular bid, which was my position. Attorney Macy has confirmed that. I think it would be appropriate for the board to actually take a formal action on that when we get to the crack filling part of it, to find that in a regular bid. But we can do these in, we do this in any order. Do you want to do the asphaltic seal coating first, number 8 on your agenda?
I guess I would be willing to move to accept the bid from Scott Construction for the slag fill.
That's certainly an appropriate motion if you would like to make it.
This,
That's for the slagging, you're saying? Huh?
yeah, black boiler slag and seal coating, right?
So the 91,945 for Scott Construction for boiler slag on all the roads in the proposal, that's the motion?
Yes.
Okay, is there a second to the motion? I'll second the motion. Discussion on the motion.
A couple of questions and concerns that I have. I wouldn't be comfortable, with all due respect to your opinion of the way that Attorney Macy responded, I wouldn't be comfortable voting on any of these the way they were handled from the beginning until I read his comments on my own and had some
Well-
time to evaluate. Let me finish, please.
Go ahead, finish.
Thank you. So that's the first thing. In addition to that, this whole process was handled in a difficult way for me to accept. It was brought to the board for consideration. The contracts were essentially modified without our knowledge and put out for bid with absolutely no input from the attorney. I'm also curious in particular on the slag bid. There was significant discussion last year, and in fact, a failure to award the bid last year because of the tardiness of the bid, and several members of the board were concerned about it not being done before what I think last year was September 30th. Then on the bid this year, you put it out with specific instruction for the bidders to commit that they'd be able to commit to October 31st. So I don't quite understand if it was a concern last year that they weren't going to be done until September 30th, why would we think that this year it would be better to push it all the way out to October 31st?
Okay, well, a couple of things on the table. Number one, and maybe we'll just let this fall behind in the schedule, what I would suggest, so you have an opportunity, everybody has an opportunity to see the communication from Attorney Macy. I had no idea that Kathy hadn't sent that out or didn't have copies of it here tonight. Would you mind texting her, and maybe she can even, I think we find that some way. I mean, people ought to try to see that. Maybe she can forward that to you as an email communication. We can print it or something. I mean,
I'm not
we got to
gonna
move
get into
ahead.
it. I'm not going to get into it. She's not here. I'm not going
All
to sit
right.
here and be a secretary.
Well, what does the board want to do?
I gave you my opinion, and that's my opinion.
Okay, further discussion. You got a motion on the table?
The dates do concern me a little bit. The October date, that's September I'd be comfortable with, but October, that is gonna getting pretty far-fetched.
I will just tell you, we can get clarification. I will tell you that, and can't give them any information until a bid is awarded. Scott, when I talked to them before they submitted the bid, said it would be their intention to be finished before the 1st of September. I'm just sharing that as information. It's not a iron fast commitment or whatever, but that's what he told me.
I guess I gotta kind of agree with David here too, as far as the October 31st. Brian, that is a little bit late. Last year we had snow, I think it was October, the last 2 weeks of October. That's getting a little late. If somebody could commit to having it done, like you say, sooner than that, sooner the better. As far as the crack filling, it doesn't really matter. But the slag sealing, that needs time to adhere and stuff like that. So October, I mean, depending on the weather, I mean, it could be a warm October or it could be a cold October. That is pushing it out a little bit.
I would tell you, I took that from a previous, it was the previous spec, was that date, for whatever it's worth. I didn't change that. Okay. All right, further discussion. What would you like to do?
Call the question.
Yeah, we have a motion on the floor. I guess it's time to vote. Nobody has anything else to say.
Any further discussion? Okay, then we'll vote on the motion, which is to approve the contract for Scott Construction for boiler slag for $91,945. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
Opposed?
Okay, let's go for sure. We've got 4 opposed or 3?
I was opposed.
Favor?
Okay, so we've got 3 in favor. I want to make sure we've got it right. Trustee Kalinsky in favor.
Correct.
Trustee Stigler in favor.
Yes.
Chairman Fisher in favor. Trustee German and Trustee Dur opposed. Is that correct? Okay, then the motion passes 3-2. Okay, item 9 is discussion and possible action on award of the contract for crack filling of roads for 2020. I will make a motion to find the proposal from Farner in the amount of $30,262 to be an irregular bid because it was not submitted on the standard form without modification, and I will so move. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
Okay, discussion.
Is there a reason that the attorney is not here tonight to discuss these issues? Did you ask him to be here?
He indicated he didn't think he needed to be here tonight, and I didn't ask him to be here. Again, I had no idea that his letter was not distributed and disseminated to people.
Well, you certainly could see the header in the email.
The
to
what?
know that it wasn't distributed.
Mike, I'm not going there with you tonight, okay?
Well, you may not want to go there, but.
It's not
certainly
my-
You could see that it wasn't distributed. I
It's
just don't
not-
understand why we're dealing with this amount of money without
It's-
our attorney here.
It's not my responsibility or my job
Really?
to disseminate that. No, it is
Okay.
not,
All right,
okay?
very good.
It's not my job to do. So we're at where we are at. Again, if you want to, there's a way we can go and find this. If you want to leave this to the end of the meeting, why don't we do that? So you got a chance to see his letter. That would be my suggestion.
Are
You like
gonna send-
that?
Are you going to send it to me?
What's, I didn't even bring an electronic device, okay? But we'll find a copy of it somehow or other before the evening is over.
Whatever is your pleasure.
But, no, it's the pleasure of the board. And you, people, if you do not want to believe my representation to you, that he found that bid to be improper. That's the motion that's here. If you don't want to believe my representation to you, that is your prerogative. Okay? So further discussion, the motion is to find, and I guess before we go a step further, I will suggest that you look at the bid from Farner Asphalt Sealers. I mean, you have had, everybody in the room has had that for a week and a half, fair enough? Look at Exhibit C, everybody, okay? To it, you've got that. And take a look at that first page
President Fisher.
that defines,
I have-
no, don't interrupt me.
I have
Don't-
read the
don't
bid
interrupt
carefully.
me.
I have
Don't-
read the
May-
bid
don't
carefully.
Mike, don't interrupt me. I'll let you talk in a minute.
Call the
Do not-
question, sir.
Do not
Call the
interrupt.
question.
Do not interrupt,
You don't have to
please.
convince me. Call the question.
Don't interrupt, please. I'm not finished speaking, and I will call the question. Has everybody had an opportunity to read the general directions to bidders on Exhibit C? I don't think you need an attorney to interpret that. It says all bids must be submitted on the standard form without modification. And it may have been well intended, but they crossed off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, if I counted it right, and kept 7 bids. So they only bid 7 out of 19 roads for their $30,262. That's in a classic irregular bid, and there is no way to compare that against anybody else's bid. And for that reason, Attorney Macy found this is non-compliant with the bid solicitation. It's not difficult. So I said my piece. Any other discussion? The motion then is to find the bid from Farner Asphalt Sealers, I believe is the name of it, in the amount of $30,262 for crack filling in a regular bid. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
All right, I'll make sure we got that right. Trustee Kalinsky, you voted?
Aye.
Trustee German?
Aye.
Trustee Stigler?
Aye.
I voted aye, so that motion passes 4-1. Do you want to act on award of bid to that to Thunder Road? That would be the next logical question, is whether somebody wants to make a motion to that effect.
I'll make a motion to award the bid to Thunder Road for the crack filling.
For $49,325, right, David?
Yes.
Okay, is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Discussion.
Only for the same reasons I'll be opposing.
Okay, any other further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So that's 5 to
Excuse me,
nothing?
I'm sorry. My mistake. I'm opposed. My
Okay,
mistake. I
I'm gonna cut you a little slack. The rules say once you're voted, you can't change your vote, but we're gonna be kind tonight, so we'll let you change your vote. So I've got that as 4-1. Let's make sure we got it right. Trustee Kalinsky, Trustee German, Trustee Stigler, and I voted aye. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, correct.
And Supervisor Durr, you voted nay.
That is correct.
Okay, Flex Patch, one bid, Thunder Road, $3,975. You want to do anything with that?
I'll move to accept the bid of $3,975 from Thunder Road.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second the motion.
Discussion. Okay, then we'll proceed to vote. The motion was by Trustee Stigler, seconded by Trustee German to accept the bid from Thunder Road for flex patching in the amount of $3,975. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
All right, so I want to make sure we got that right. We got Trustee Kalinsky, Trustee German, Trustee Stigler, and President Fisher voting aye, and Trustee Durr voting no. Is that correct? Thank you. All right, and then we are done with that, and we will go back to the issue at hand here, which is announcing the closed session. Announce closed session, you are hereby notified that the village board of the village of Waukesha will convene and may, upon motion duly made and seconded and acted upon by roll call vote as required under Wisconsin Stats 19.851G, go into closed session during the course of the meeting. Village board members may attend the closed session. The purpose of the closed session will be as follows: considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, specifically to interview applicants for interim clerk treasurer and deputy clerk treasurer. Let's first have a motion to go into closed session. Is there such a motion? I'll make the motion to go into closed session. Is there a second?
Second.
I made the motion. Trustee Kalinsky, I believe, seconded the motion to go into closed session. A roll call vote. Trustee Stigler,
Aye.
Trustee Durr,
Aye.
Trustee German,
Aye.
Trustee Kalinsky,
Aye.
and I vote aye as well, so that's 5-0. Question for you would be, makes not that much difference to me. Typically and often we go into this small room for closed session. I would personally prefer if we were to do it in this room, appropriately spaced, but then we would be asking people to leave. I think, Jerry, we're done with it. Young lady in the back, you are? Okay. You're here a bit early for the 7 o'clock.
Oh, she said 6:15.
What time did she tell you?
6 o'clock.
She told you 6 o'clock and told you 6:15?
I can wait, I'll go.
They're set up, they were set up, we're running a bit behind, they were set up for 6:15 and 7 o'clock. Deepest apologies. We're gonna give a half hour to everybody. I can't shed any light on that, have no explanation.
I can speak really fast.
What's that?
I can speak really fast.
Okay, do you mind returning at 7 o'clock?
Sure, no problem.
We would deeply appreciate that. Is everybody then comfortable with proceeding in this room?
Sure.
Any objections to that? Tom, you want to make sure that door, or Mike does, somebody, that door gets closed.
What about streaming live?
No, we're going to, I think, simply shut that down at this point in time. And we're certainly turning off microphones. I think we want to turn off the audio and the video. Everybody on board with